Hello everyone, welcome back to another invader video. Today we'll be talking about a real situation that happened in a professional game not long ago. Last move, the white player decided to cap the two stones towards the bottom. So you can feel free to pause the video and think about some of the solutions or some of the moves that you would like to play as black. Okay, welcome back. So this is a very open-ended problem. There are many moves that could potentially work. One could say, hey, let me just peep here and block, make myself some eye space. This is a totally fine idea. One can also think about, well, let me just, well, there's a huge opening here. Why not just go out this way? This is also a very, very nice idea, right? All these ideas are very interesting. But in the actual game, the professional played the c7, which leads to a very fundamental idea in the game of Go, is that whenever your group is actually safe, right? This group has a lot of breaking points. There's some breaking points over here. There's definitely a breaking direction over here. There's a peep and block that I've discussed about. And then there's a space for extension. So whenever we have a group like this on a board, a lot of times we can rely on our strength and tanuki and take profits elsewhere, right? So for example, if the board is super close, in terms of territory, at this point as black, if you just go ahead and take some territory, then you'll be leading in territory, and then you can use your invasion skills to deal with these two stones. So this is a very, very nice idea, especially in invader series. That is for you to tanuki and take profits elsewhere. This is what the professional has played in the game. White can obviously also think about taking profits elsewhere. However, white does not want black to have the initiative and start attacking white over here. So in the actual game, white decided to play the Hane and Tiger's Mouth. This is aiming at playing b1, so black is pretty much forced to Altari at c1 because this is a very, very big move. So white next move is to peep at h4. So I have already presented the first idea, that is for us to tanuki, take profits when our dragon is not in trouble. But this is not true anymore because white added e2 stone and then h4 stone to directly threaten black. So here one might be tempted to just connect. Right? This is what a lot of my viewers would just play without thinking, right? This could be played in 1 second because this is the certain and obvious move. However, there's some problems with this move. If black connects here, white's going to follow up with a small knight, making sure there's no breaking points over this direction. And then we realize that black really has some problems because of this h4 stone. Let's say, for example, if you play g6, well, first of all, we have to directly worry about cutting points now because of this h4 stone. That's kind of doing something here, right? Then we can immediately get cut off. That's one thing we have to worry about. But the other thing is that is more worrisome is for white to attach to the corner group and then eventually threaten this cutting point. Right? Let's say you play more moves on the outside, then when I cut, I will cut more stones off. So these are very, very trouble. These are ideas that can give a black a lot of trouble, and this is, I believe, a lot of times where my viewers could fall behind. Right? We have a very heavy group. We don't seem to have an obvious way to break out. If we break out this way, white. So before that, white can still make use of this really annoying idea of attaching here and then threaten our group. And our group just looks really heavy, right? Even if we can break out this direction, white is going to keep attacking us, and the entire game we just feel like we're chased and attacked, and we can't really breathe. We don't have any ways to counterattack. We don't have any time to make any moves that generate profits. So this is a very common symptom or a very common problem that players do have, um, and and we're going to talk about how we can solve this kind of problem. What are some of the root causes for this kind of problem, right? To illustrate the problem a little bit further, let's say you play even like slower move than this Kosumi. Well, guess what? This is gonna happen when you keep playing like this. All your stones are squeezed at one space, right? Trying to capture this H4 stone. First of all, this is super inefficient. Now, black needs some magic to live here, because if you just get one eye, okay, after these kind of moves, first of all, we have to put a question mark on whether black can actually live here, right? The second thing is, even if you live here, okay, even if you, I don't know what kind of magic you're gonna play, even if you live here, white is super thick, all connected, tremendous influence towards the outside. Just this amount of points, right? This is enough for black to suffer, right? The potential over here. Not to say white has the corner, has an empty corner over here. This is just a game where black is behind because of the inefficiencies of his stones. Hence, so I think this illustrates a problem, is when black gets heavy, when black connects without thinking. This is a common root cause for games that are behind, for games where you feel like you're under attack and you somehow magically made yourself alive but still lose the game. Would be the root cause for this kind of games. So to solve this, the first thing we need to have is the idea of playing flexible, right? Of playing active, and then that the first move, which is played in the actual game, is for you to block on top, right? So this move is a lot better than simply connecting, because it gives blacks the flexibility to attach out and to Hane here. So there's some Miyais going on, and then obviously there's still this break in direction. So this move gives a lot more choices. But one concern would be, oh, what if white just cuts black off? Black needs a block. White cannot cut on top. White really wants to cut on top, but I think there's a ladder going on, so white cannot do that. White has two options. One is to cut at K3, in which case black can just keep pushing down, forcing white to capture, and then black can just hop out. So not only black is able to hop out, but also white now needs to run as well. So this will be our ideal invasion. Not only we broke the territory here, but also we were able to initiate counterattack onto white. So this is the perfect kind of invasion that we need, right? Not only we got out, but also we put pressure onto our opponent. This is always the ideal case. So in the actual game, white decided to actually just turn here, and then the variations after that is very complicated. But the thing is, now as we can see, black's situation is a lot better than if black just simply connected. Black next move, he can Kosumi here or make a tiger's mouth here, threatening to come out. So if white ever tries to block here, black's gonna make another tiger's mouth. So all of a sudden, black shape is very flexible, right? Whenever you Atari make another tiger's mouth, and this is gonna cause some ko, right? So if ever white has to connect back, black is gonna have eye space. This is gonna cause problems for white, right? So this would make our group a lot more vivid. So black is able to make a life locally instead of having to run with a very heavy shape. So this would be kind of the fundamental ideas that I would like to present to you guys in this video. So actually, we didn't talk that much about tactics. Rather, we really focused on a situation like this, right? When our opponent peeps here. A lot of times my viewers would just, without thinking, just believe that the only move is to connect at J4. But actually it's not, right? We can initiate a counterattack at H5, right? So yeah, if white pulls back, then we can just connect back. So this exchange would help black tremendously, right? Black now has many ways to try to break out, right? There's a lot of ways in which black can get himself out. So let's just look at like a hypothetical example to illustrate this idea a little bit more. Let's say, for example, white stone happens to be here, and then we have the same situation, right? Black Ataris, and then now white peeps here. So here for the same kind of reason, right? So this is kind of like a practice. This doesn't happen in a game, but here I really want my viewers to think, right? I really want my viewers to absorb this idea in Invader series, because I think it's really important. So what are some of the solutions, against this peep that you can come up with, right? Feel free to pause the video, and when you come back, we can discuss some thoughts. Maybe AI does not agree with it, but the first thing that comes to my mind is to actually play a jump here, right? Instead of connecting with a very heavy shape, I'm thinking about not only protecting this cutting point, but also forming another cutting point, and then I can make another attach here. If white ever does this, we can make a ko. So our shape is a lot more flexible than if we just connect here, right? So this would make a big difference. Another possibility is to attach here, which would also, which is kind of similar, right? So not only are we able to get rid of this cutting point by connecting ourselves in a more fancy way, but also now we're having a ko here, right? So white has to kind of take here. We find a ko thread and we take back. These are great thoughts. They're not necessarily better than the push on top, but those are some ideas that I think my viewers can start to think about. So as your ideas become more and more varied, right? As you come up with more and more ideas, it shows that your level is getting higher. So a lot of times it's very important to not follow intuitions. Rather, we have all kinds of different moves in mind, right? These moves are all moves that we can think about to protect against a cutting point like this. And this is very important just in the game of Go in general, but this is super important in Invasion series, right? If we just connect like this, it's very likely we'll get ourselves in trouble, right? Like we're very heavy. How to make ice with this kind of shape? They're so inefficient. And they're not attaching to the opponent. They're not following any principles. It's very easy for us to be in trouble, right? So I think this is the ideas I want to discuss with you guys today. A lot of repetitions, I know, but super important idea in a game of Go and in Invasion. So I hope you guys practice in your game and take the time to think about different alternatives when you are especially getting attacked. And I'm pretty sure as you practice more, you'll definitely level up a lot. So for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys